Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Geekonomics. We are back, and no, we do not do any math on the show. All we do is talk about all things geek and nerd and fun. Brian's here. I'm here. We are doing the show on the Zoom again. The studio, the parking lot is being repaved as we speak. So for a couple weeks, we'll be back on the Zoom until that project is completed. But how are we doing, Brian? How are things with you and yours and the Game Boy box behind you? I've been staring at the Game Boy box ever since you turned on your camera. Like I have one. I probably have one of those at my parents' house. Not in that good.
It's a Game Boy case.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can put your Game Boy in it.
Yeah.
And your games. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite pieces for collecting game stuff.
Yeah.
And my Game Boy is in the living room.
I
play Tetris when I'm bored.
Well, there you go.
But I have
the phone too. You could just.
No, the less with the phone, the better. I got my Game Boy games here.
Nice.
I got a stack of them.
Nice.
Wario Blasts, The Simpsons. I got Tetris. I got tennis, Pitfall.
Oh, Pitfall's the best.
Yeah.
That was my game on the Atari back in the day.
Me too. Oh, and I got Zelda, and I got stuff.
Of course, you have Zelda.
I do my best not. I don't play games on my phone. I don't want to. When I'm at home, my phone is generally in the kitchen. I'm away from it.
Yeah.
But my Game Boy has become my new hey, I'm waiting for Allison to join me in the living room, or I just want to hang out and have TV off. I'll play. Yeah. I get sucked into Tetris so quick. And it's like one thing ever made.
With my phone, my new thing is I've come across this app that one of the volunteers mentioned one day. We were at the studio and a plane flew over. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that plane is. And he just pulled out his phone, pointed it at the sky, and it showed what the plane was, where it was going and everything. I'm like, what is this? There's an app called Flight Radar 24. And it shows you, I don't know if my phone, because I have the thing on.
It's fine.
It shows you where every plane is. It's just a radar. And shows you all the planes flying near you, by you, anywhere in the world, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So when I get bored now, that's all I do is I just bring up this app and I just start clicking on random planes and being like, ooh, where's that plane going? There's a plane flying over Holyoke right now that is coming from Istanbul and flying to Washington, D.C.
Look at that.
Turkish Airlines. So there's a plane probably just flew by you, a Spirit airline coming from Myrtle Beach, landing in Windsor Locks.
And all their passengers are flying out the window.
Because
it's Spirit Airlines.
It's landing, so it's okay.
Huh?
It's landing, so it's okay. But an hour and a half flight from Myrtle Beach to Windsor Locks. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
But yeah, so that's all I do now is just I plan that app.
Nice. Speaking of that,
I'm an old man now. What I was really hoping for, because I brought up the whole conversation initially with him, was I was like, it would be cool if there was an app that showed you what trains were going by. Because my house, there's literally my house, our street, house across the street, behind that house is the freight line tracks. And I hear them go by all the time. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. And it'd be cool if it wouldn't have to show what's on the trains. It doesn't need the airplanes don't either. It just tells you what airplane it is. But it's what engine is it? That's all I want to know. I just want to know where it's going, where it's been. I'm an old man. It's the stuff I am into now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess so, Mark.
Yeah. I really realized it this weekend. I'm an old guy. I'm old.
Well.
Yeah. Look at you. You can tell you're old, but I, on the other hand, don't have that problem.
I don't consider it a problem. I consider it distinguished.
Your wife is lying to you. That's what that is.
No. I like it. It doesn't bother her. I love gray hair. People complain about it. I absolutely love it. When I was a kid,
as long as you have hair, that's all that matters.
Yes, I'd much rather have gray than be bald.
Exactly.
That much.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Mark, I told Allison this, and she was like, "What is wrong with you?" So let me tell you.
Your hair gray.
When I was a kid, when I would read my comics, Fantastic Four, Richard Reed, he had the cool patch of white.
Or Reed Richards.
Reed Richards. He had the I'm dyslexic. Okay,
That's his brother.
his brother,
That's his cousin, Richard Reed.
Richard Reed. He had the white hair.
Arch nemesis.
He had the white hair above his right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I wanted that. I was like,
Of course you did.
I wanted that.
Now
But
you have
then
it the opposite. Now you have the opposite.
I thought,
You're gray up top and you have the black stripes on the side.
yeah. But anyway,
Maybe that's because you wanted it. If you said you didn't want it, you would have happened the right way, and you would have had the black on top and the grays on the sides.
I know. I love
If you
that.
said you wanted it, the ether was like, nope, we're gonna make you have the complete opposite.
Yeah, but I do have the white in front of the beard where the
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get that, like little patches here and there.
Yeah. But anyway, Mark, before we get into anything else crazy,
Yes,
we should talk about our next show, June 25th.
the next comic show.
Yes, East of the River Comic Book and Collectible Show, June 25th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Correct.
Admission's $1. Early bird is at 9 a.m. $3 gets you in early.
You're correct.
American Legion Hall, 566 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut. Now listen, the last show, no joke, was a packed house.
Yes, it was.
We opened at 9 for early bird, and it was already packed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, get there early if you want the good stuff, because I feel like this show could be another packed house. Now, this is kind of in the beginning of summer, June 25th. Generally, in the past, we've had these shows in the middle of July. I think this one will work out very well because we're right that week, the first weekend of summer. And then, not to get ahead of ourselves, we do have a Manchester show in July.
We do.
So this is more comic book-y, and the Manchester is a little bit more toys. But I also want to say a big thank you to Cliff's Con. I did his hotel show. I think the turnout was really good.
That was a great show.
Yeah. I did very well for what I do.
Yeah.
But overall, I had a great time there.
Yeah.
I loved my spot in the corner. I actually got myself a nice, cool Buffy the Vampire statue from another guy, Cliff. Not Cliff, but a different
Cliff, but the other Cliff. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I'm actually going to buy more statues from him when I see him in Manchester.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All you need.
Yeah.
So have you gotten, because you have your own space, like I do in your house, where it's like your room. But do you have the caveat that even though it's your room, that you still have to get permission for certain things to bring in to your room?
Where I'm recording right now is my room. I could do whatever I want. Okay.
Yeah.
Allison has her own. In the basement, which is I've decorated the basement, and it is the hangout, but
the places that people don't go and usually see normally.
Right. It is Allison and me, we hang out there, but I've been in control of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes Allison will give me shit about certain things about down there.
Yeah.
And I get that because it's
a common space.
Right.
Yes.
But this room is all me.
Yeah.
She has no say whatsoever. Why? Why do you ask?
Well, because I have that caveat. So that's why I was wondering if you have that same caveat.
Well, if it's your room, why is Claire?
Well, like I said, it's technically my room, but it's as much as it can be my room. You know
why?
What I mean?
Why are you getting shit about something?
Oh, certain things.
What do you mean? Oh, certain things.
It's like I don't know if you probably, I think we talked about this in the show, even the Pac-Man video game Lego set has been released.
Yeah.
And I, knowing she would say something about it, decided to show show it to Claire. And she's like, I forbade you to purchase this. She's like, we have no space for this, no matter in your room, anywhere, and you're not taking it to your office. at work, which has become my overflow. Basically,
Right.
my room is my office at work.
Well, I mean, your
I
office.
like, I don't really want it. It was just one of those things. It was like, it looks cool, but like, what
Yeah,
do I do with that? It's like, it
yeah.
doesn't do anything. Kind of like the Atari one. It's cool, but once you build it, it's like, what are you gonna do with it?
Well, that's all Legos.
Yeah, but I mean, at least like the Star Wars ones look neat on a shelf.
Yeah.
Like the Atari one looks cool, but it's like it's like a dead Atari system, basically.
I want to get the Atari and the Nintendo so I
Yeah.
can have them displayed downstairs.
Yeah, the Nintendo one has the TV that comes with it and the Mario moves. That's kind of.
Yeah. That's cool. It's real cool.
But no, I have because I did get other Legos during Star Wars Day, and I had to edit some of the stuff I have, so I do have a stack for you. So
You keep saying that. The stack.
it's become a box now. It was just a little bit of stuff, and now it's like I'm basically have a box to give you for the show.
Well, if you give it to me for Sunday, on Sunday, I can at least look at it and maybe price it and put some stuff out and start selling it.
Yeah.
I think it'll sell.
Probably give it to you at I'll give it to you at the Flash. That was my plan.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That's next Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let's go.
East River is happening at the end of the month.
Yes.
And then Andrew's show happening after that.
We'll talk about what that.
But you'll see all the stuff that we just talked about at those shows.
Right. Totally. Anyway, we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Mark, let's get into our weeks. I'll let you go first. You watch, you anything of note you want to talk about?
A couple things. Like I said, the aforementioned Legos. I started building the Legos I got during Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Had a special on Legos, so I made sure to jump on that. And I got I'm looking at it right now to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Which one I built, which one I didn't build yet. I built the newest, one of the newest dioramas.
I saw that on Facebook.
The speeder bike chase, which is pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So that's now on the bookcase of wonder. Also, with that, they gave you a bunch of like free Legos if you spend a certain amount of money, and of course, I hit that threshold very quickly. So I got a free second Death Star Lego build, which is right next to the Endor one. I have the throne room, which I still have to build from Return of the Jedi.
Man,
for the 40th anniversary. So
where are you gonna put all this? Claire's right. You have a problem.
I took some pops off the shelves that I don't really want that came with back when I was they had the Star Wars boxes.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Which is probably like 2 or 3 years ago now at this point. There's some random ones that came from that I'm just gonna give to you to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't really want these. And I have other stuff I could really probably get rid of too, but it's just I haven't gone through the efforts yet. Like Claire has a bunch of DVDs and I have a bunch of DVDs that we probably could eliminate and that would make up more space. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I did that and then I cleaned my space up here a little bit, organized a little bit better. And I also watched the documentary on HBO Max, Smartless on Tour.
I saw the trailer. Looked really good.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And off of that, this will shock you even more. I have now started listening to the podcast.
You listen to a podcast?
Yes. Yeah. I do it while I'm at the gym now. That's my thing. I get to the gym, I put on the Smartless. Because there's like 100 some odd episodes, so I have plenty to catch up on.
Yeah.
But I did just listen to the one that they just released Monday because it's Pedro Pascal.
Nice.
But yeah, so did that. That's about it. Let's watch the Smartless trailer, the Smartless documentary. Not much else going on. It's been quiet. It was a quiet week. What did we do over the weekend? I think I did something. I can't remember. Oh, I went to the new barbecue place in Longmeadow.
Yeah.
which is right on Route 5.
Yeah.
Amazing. I suggest it immensely.
Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah.
It's where Rinaldi's used to be in the sun.
Yes. Yeah.
As a partial owner.
Yeah.
So I've been following it, and we're hoping to make a work field trip there. That's what
There you go. That's the way to do it, because then you don't have to pay for it. Because it was pricey.
I'm sure.
But it was a barbecue place and it's in the area. So I'm like, well, we gotta go because barbecue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a higher class Bears.
Right.
To. Yeah. Not like the food's not higher. The food is just as good as Bears. But it's like Bears is more like casual dining. This is more like, fancy dining.
Right. I mean, were the prices similar? Because Bears is kind of expensive.
No, way more expensive than Bears.
Real.
Yeah.
Because like me and Allison,
like the two of us ended up with like, I think it was like around 150 for the two of us.
Holy crap.
Yeah, but Claire had alcohol and stuff, so that.
How much alcohol for? I mean, that doesn't.
She had a beer and a wine.
Because Allison and me, we went to Bears after my colonoscopy, and I think between our two, we got a lot of food.
Yeah,
we got enough to bring home.
Yeah,
I want to say it was around. I think it was like $64.
Yeah, that's
with
normal.
everything.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. That's a drink, a sides, dessert, all that, all the accoutrement,
Yeah.
Wow, 150.
Yeah.
No, did you get the ribs?
I didn't. I did not.
Oh man,
It was the first time. It was the first time, so I didn't want to be like, I'm gonna get like completely covered in stuff,
Yeah.
I always go with my go-to for first time visiting barbecue places. Their brisket and their chicken.
How was it?
The brisket was amazing. It was really good. I got the lean version. They have lean or moist.
Don't say that word again.
That's what they have it as. Because it's fattier. It's
the
M1.
Yeah.
The lean is less fat.
Yeah.
I got the lean. And I got the half chicken, which has a white barbecue sauce on it.
Ooh.
Not so much a fan of the white barbecue sauce. It wasn't terrible.
What is white barbecue sauce?
I have no idea. I'm assuming they just don't use ketchup or whatever. Or Worcestershire sauce. Maybe it's like a vinegary type.
Interesting.
I don't know. I didn't ask.
But
it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't as good as Bear's chicken.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's still good.
Okay.
Yeah. No baked potato, which was was not happy with that.
No baked potato.
No potato whatsoever. The only potato they have is a potato salad, which is not a potato.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was my thing. I had like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a smaller place, so maybe.
How much room do you need to bake a potato? You have smokers. They have like huge smokers in there. Bake a potato.
Bake a potato. I don't know.
Yeah.
You need a baked potato.
You gotta have a baked potato with your barbecue.
Maybe you can bring your own. Bring your own.
I know. I was thinking about it. Next time I will.
Potato.
Yeah. Bring my own potato. Smuggle it in Claire's purse.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I'll have to ask Allison if she's interested in checking it out, but I'll let her know. Hey,
we do have mac and cheese.
Okay, that's good.
The cornbread is really good.
Nice.
Claire had the brisket cheesesteak, which looked amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah. And it comes with, they have waffle fries.
Okay.
They do a smoked paprika on the waffle fries.
Ooh.
Which was nice. But I'm not a big waffle fry guy. I don't mind it if there's no other options.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have a potato.
I'd rather have baked potato than waffle.
I'd rather have meat. I want to have a baked potato.
Yeah.
But they had a chili crunched asparagus, which wasn't terrible. But it was that was my only letdown of the whole thing, was there was no potato.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What kind of joint doesn't have a baked?
I don't know. Potatoes aren't that expensive. They grow in the ground.
Yeah, come on, get with it.
they're also like, I don't know, like I don't know why. I didn't ask. I was tempted. You're like, why no potato? But
Yeah.
you want to be that guy.
I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
I'll be that guy. I'm gonna ask when I
I
go
was
there.
curious. I was
Yeah.
curious. But besides that, everything was really good. I had a mocktail.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's called the Panoma. It's made with a like sugar-free, like bitter mix, which was it was very bittery tasty.
Wait, non-alcoholic, right?
Yeah, non-alcoholic. Yeah.
Oh, so
But a mocktail.
you had a Hardy Boy.
No. Well, it's one of those like that. Yeah.
Shirley Temple is for the ladies. You got the Hardy Boy.
Well, no, they have other ones. People make other ones now.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You're making me hungry right before lunch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Now I'm starving.
No problem. Yeah, I would suggest it.
Yeah.
Just with the caveat, my word of the day, no potato.
No potato.
Except for potato salad, which is not a potato.
No, and it's not a salad.
No, it's an abomination, is what it is.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I'll be the one to throw it out there. Potato salad is an abomination to salads and potatoes.
And it will give me the runs.
Oh, to give you the issues. Yeah.
It will destroy my stomach for hours if I have that.
Yeah. Which was my, I think I said to Claire while we were there. If you have potato salad, you already have potatoes. Just give me the potatoes.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Okay. Say they don't
especially
want
when they're like trying to, especially when they're like, oh, it's fresh made potato salad. It's like, well, if you have potatoes in the back, just throw one in the griddle for me for a couple minutes and give me that.
You know what they could do though? If they have the red skinned, cut them in fours, put some spices, and cook that in the oven.
Exactly.
I'll do that.
That's what I was saying. Give me some chopped up potatoes. I don't need like a baked potato. You already got the potatoes in the back. If you're making potato salad, you got to be able to make a potato.
Right.
Cook
That's
the
what
potato
I'm saying.
to make the salad. You can't just give a raw potato in the salad.
Hashtag give me that potato.
Hashtag potato. Yeah.
Hashtag potato.
Hashtag potato.
Baked potato.
Baked potato.
All right. Let's move on. We've got on. This has got on long enough.
Yeah. So that was my week.
All right.
I've been waiting on it. I've been craving a baked potato all week because of that.
I make my own baked potatoes at home.
Oh, I do too. But we haven't had a meal where it's like we had that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then we had a meal since then that like have a potato with. I'm not just gonna make a random potato.
It's always nice to have someone else make it, you know.
Claire made me a baked potato when I told her we went to the grocery store last week and steaks were on sale. They're like having some Stop and Shop has these things. I've mentioned this before, but they do like the family packs of like meal things. So I was like, ooh, and that steaks was the one for that week. And I was like, ooh, steak. I haven't had a good steak in a long time. And then I wanted to start the grill up for the first time this year. Get it ready, for when it's grilling time. So I told her I'll grill some steaks, but I was like, oh, I could really go for a potato. She's like, oh, get a potato, because she doesn't eat potatoes. She doesn't like potatoes. So
what?
I know she's an Irish girl who doesn't like potatoes. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's weird.
I asked her if she was like someone threw a potato at her when she was young or something, and that's why she doesn't like potatoes. But anyways, so she baked me a potato, but she's never baked a potato before because she doesn't like potatoes. So she did what she usually does. She went online and found a recipe for like best baked potato, and it was literally one of the best baked potatoes I've ever had in my life.
No, it was on the grill or in the oven?
In the oven.
Yeah, I make mine in the oven too.
Yeah. So I'm used to grilled potatoes, from the potato bar and such. So, but anyways, I digress.
All right.
How was your week, Brian?
Well, I'm not going to get into the sad stuff, but
besides that,
I had a week.
We can throw it. I'll throw it out there for you. We unfortunately lost Buddy.
Yes, I had a rough week.
The show is dedicated to Buddy.
Yes, he's he was my grandma's cat, and then someone else's cat before that.
Yeah.
So he was our.
He had a good long life.
Yes. We called him our Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
because he kind of looked like Wilford Brimley.
Yes.
But it's been an up and down roller coaster of emotions with him. And but other things, my week, a show that I've been looking forward to has come back on HBO Max.
I thought you were talking about Equilibrium TV.
I was gonna get there.
I tried watching this, by the way.
What?
I tried watching this show that you're going to talk about.
Well, let me. You can give your opinion, but
okay.
So I was a huge fan of Clone High when I was man, it came out when I was still living at home when I worked at Chi-Chi's. And I would actually watch it and download it from a downloading site because I wasn't home enough to watch TV and I didn't have my own TV. So I watched all of it there. Then I bought the DVDs. Then Paramount, when I had Paramount Plus, they had it up. So I've watched it numerous times.
Yeah.
And it came back and man, I'm loving it. The first 2 episodes to me were great. Third episode was just okay. The fourth episode I really enjoyed. But I just like those characters, and I mean it's not as good as the first season, but I don't think it's ever gonna be. But for me, I'm enjoying it, and you get 2 new episodes every Thursday. So you said you started it. Did you watch the original?
Yeah, I'd watched the original when it aired back in the day, which I was not a huge fan of, but it was on, and I was like, that's cool. So I tried watching it. I hadn't watched it since then, which could be one of the reasons why I probably didn't like it as much as I would have if I probably had rewatched the first season. I just didn't find it as funny, and I was like,
no, it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
I like it.
I've come to the point where these shows like this now, where where I'll start watching it and I just don't find it funny, or like I used to find stuff funny. I'm like, yeah, I'm too old now, and I just stopped watching it.
Well, not everything's fair. I tried to watch
my cup of tea anymore. Yeah,
I tried to watch Ted Lasso. I watched 2 episodes and I'm like, this ain't for me, and I'm not wasting my time. I'm not getting any younger, and I much rather watch something I enjoy. Now, people love Ted Lasso. I have nothing against it. It just didn't.
Third season not so good as the other 2 seasons, but that's here nor there.
Yeah,
the season finale, the series finale was really good.
But there's literally so much content out now.
There
literally is too much.
Yeah.
But you always find something that you enjoy.
For now.
Yeah.
There might not be much to watch soon.
Yeah, that will happen.
Burn through the content soon.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, won't burn through the content for a couple of years. The rest of the world, coming up soon, we're going to start burning through content.
Yeah. So another show, Allison and me, we finally finished Buffy. We have 1 more season of Angel to watch, which we're very excited for. Buffy was amazing. We jumped in. We're like, we give ourselves a break. We watched season 4 of Succession. One of my
amazing, right?
Well, yeah, it was amazing,
fantastic.
Not
a fan of the series finale though. But
really?
Besides that, it was great.
Oh, I thought it was perfect. I
just didn't like the thing of it just ends. There's no finality to it.
What are you talking about?
It's just I don't want to spoiler alert. I'll throw that out there.
Well,
fact that Tom's the guy that gets everything.
No, Tom didn't get everything. Tom played the game, and he's in it with Skarsgård.
Yeah,
they bought out the company.
Yeah,
but he is just a body bag, is what he says. I don't want a partner. Whatever. I'm just looking for someone.
He's just a dummy guy. But anyways, he's no one got it. There was no succession. That's the whole point of the whole show.
They got
The
bought
name of the
out.
show
Yeah.
does not mean anything. It's just a name because no one succeeds after that guy. None of his kids get it.
But Mark, the whole
Like,
point of the
what's the
show
point?
is
Why did I sit here for 4 years?
amazing. In my opinion, some of the best acting on TV.
Oh, I'm not debating that point. It's just why did I
The-
sit here expecting a conclusion, and the conclusion was the company got sold out from underneath them because
Because as soon as Logan died, we got to watch them eat each other because they didn't know how to come together, and they came together.
Yeah.
But with Shiv not putting her vote in and just going against what she was going to do.
I think
That was a callback.
She's the worst of the whole thing.
That was a callback from season 3.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the one good thing is I'm not a fan of any of them. Like they're like the characters they were playing as peoples of those characters. I didn't want any of them to win, so I wasn't disappointed in that part. But it was just kind of like, oh, so no one just ended up. No one wins. That's the story.
It's like real life, man. It's like real life.
I know, but it's just kind of like, oh, yeah. And there's like no like what happens to them, like where they end up.
Well, we don't need to that their story's over.
I know. It's just kind of like, you get invested in the people of this story. You want to like see how it turned out.
I loved.
I really thought there was going to be. The funeral episode was amazing, but I really thought that Kendall and the very end of this episode, we're getting deep into this now, so if you haven't seen it yet, when he's walking towards the river, I seriously thought for a second that he was just going to jump in the river and kill himself.
Well, yes, because we've been it
because that'd be like a poetic thing from the whole story of his character.
Yes. But even though he was in the interim, you saw the shit he pulled, and
he killed a guy and got away with it.
No, I know, but I'm saying in this season when he took over in the interim for a little bit, the shit he pulled, and then when they all came together to say, okay, we're willing to put the votes behind you.
Yeah,
I really thought it was going to be Roman who was going to freak out. But my two favorite episodes was the episode when Logan died. I thought the way they filmed it was amazing. It was such a powerful episode.
It's very difficult to get through.
Yeah. The funeral
I did not enjoy that episode at all. I enjoyed it for the acting part of it, but just like the whole like phone call and everything thing, I was like, I don't really.
It was. I'm sure. The funeral episode, I like. I was watching the behind the scenes and how they had cameras everywhere and they were trying to do it like a play, like a one taker, and they had cover. I just loved hearing all the background stuff. So for me, it's top tier HBO, some of the best acting on television, in my opinion. I absolutely love that show. I have no qualms. I have no qualms against anything. It's just a show that absolutely blew me away. So we watched that.
Surprisingly, you watched it when it was actually airing.
Well, we waited for season 4 to end, and then we watched.
But even still, it's like it was relatively when the year of that show ending, you actually watched it, as opposed to Buffy, which ended 30 years ago, that you just finally watched the end of.
Well, there's a big difference there, Mike. Succession. We started watching in 2020, and then we caught up with it. And then every time the season would end, we would watch it all.
Yeah.
Buffy came out in a part of my life where A, I didn't live at home, B, didn't have a TV or DVR, and I worked all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I chose to get into that show later in life.
So here's the question that I really wanted to ask you. From the whole time since you've been saying you've been watching Buffy, what do you think of the series finale?
Well, since you ruined it for me, I still
didn't really ruin it.
But... You did. You ruined it. You blew it.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Happened 30 years ago.
You just wait.
You're gonna ruin a show for me that happened 30 years ago?
I thought it was.
Tell me how Cheers ended.
Yeah, I will.
How Night Court went off the air.
They all died. No. I really liked the ending. Actually, okay, so Allison and me watched the final 2 episodes back to back.
Yes.
Roller coaster of emotion,
Mm.
great laughs. I think it was well paced, great action, some good humor. We, Allison and me, our only nitpick of the very finale,
Mm.
was the fact that like Xander's ex-girlfriend, Anya,
Yes.
she ends up dying,
Yes.
and in the fight,
Yes.
and then the whole Sunnydale gets swallowed up. They destroy
hell?
Hellmouth.
Yeah.
But we thought it was just weird that they're all standing there.
Yeah.
Xander's making one-liners.
Yeah.
And it felt odd because it would have
But
been.
is it though? Because that's his character.
Yeah, but it felt a little weird because he would have been a little bit mournful for Anya.
Well, he's covering his pain with humor.
I guess. Other than that, perfect ending.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump into Angel season 5, the last season, I think 6 or 5, whatever it is.
Whatever.
Soon. But yeah, it was great. We loved it. I told Allison, no joke, and she laughed at me. I said, in 10 years, we're gonna rewatch Buffy. And she's like, why are you planning it out?
Would you want to watch it again?
I want to watch it again in 10 years.
Oh my god.
In 10 years, I'll forget all about everything and enjoy
What are
it.
you talking about? You forgot about it already.
What are you talking about?
You forgot what's happened in season 1 already. You don't remember.
Oh, I know. I also picked up season 8 of Buffy Omnibus, volume 1. So I'm gonna start reading that this summer.
The comic that continues the story of Buffy.
Yeah. Well, they do season 8, 9, and 10 comic book form.
Yeah.
So I got first volume I bought from Matt. Yeah. I'm ready to jump into that. So I'm still full on Buffy for the summer.
Buffy.
Yeah.
Reading Buffy in the buff. That's what you got to do.
No, this is weird. I'm not a creeper.
You're in their house. You're in your room. Anything could happen in there. It's like Vegas. What happens in the room stays in the room.
Also, Marcus, one of our favorite bands, put out a new album.
Yes.
But Here We Are by the Foo Fighters.
Yes. With some tracks that are very, very emotional.
I listened to the whole thing that weekend. With my life being crazy, I really haven't given it a second listen. I loved the first time I listened to it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the most emotional albums the Foo Fighters have ever put out.
Yeah, for sure.
I like all the tunes.
Teacher's a great song.
Yeah.
That's one I remember.
And I could see why it hits the feels pretty hard.
Yeah. There's another one that does more. I can't remember the track titles now. It's been since last week that I listened to it.
Right. I'm looking at my initial reaction. I said it was very reminiscent of One by One. And we had the death of Taylor Hawkins and Dave Grohl's mom.
Yes.
So very very emotional, but it's very good. I kind of like Grohl's singing on this album. He not screaming as much as he does.
Yes.
I love
Show Me How, I think was the one. Yeah, Show Me How.
Show Me How.
Yeah. That one I've tried to listen to it 3 times and I still can't get through the whole song.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, nope. Sorry, Dave Grohl. Not today. Not today, Dave Grohl.
But yeah, it's a solid album, and I got to give it
Very
more
solid album.
Yeah. A lot of music came out that day, and because of my life, I just haven't given. I usually listen to music in the car or when I'm making dinner, or on the weekends. I always have music on.
Well, here's the. I know you used to do that on your walks.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts on my walks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, do you do that on your walks? So you listen to the tunes.
Mowing my lawn, I listen to music.
Me too.
Because it gets me moving quicker.
Yeah. I feel like I listen to music more doing that. And then also, like, I don't really listen to it when I go to the gym either. I was when I first started going. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. It kind of gets monotonous.
Yeah.
For some reason. So then I switched over to watching like sports shows, like Dan Patrick. Listen to Dan Patrick or the Pat McAfee show. But now I got Smartless, and I listen to Smartless.
Yeah.
Then I started getting self-conscious yesterday while I was at the gym. I'm laughing to what I'm listening to, and I'm like, oh, other people are looking at me like, what's that guy laughing about?
Oh, when I'm walking and if I'm listening to something funny, I have a big smile on my face and I'm laughing. I'm giggling to myself. Yeah. Well, since you're just getting into podcasts, but for whoever is listening, if you're subscribed to Conan Needs a Friend, they're doing.
I watch this stuff on YouTube.
Well, they're doing a 4-part Lost Hans and Franz movie.
Yes, I heard about this.
It's really good. So the final part just came out. They're about a half hour each. There's 4 episodes. It's in the same feed. Kevin Nealon, Dana
Carvey.
What's his name? The Triumph. I can't think of his name now.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about
Conan and
Schmeigel.
So they wrote the script.
Yeah.
This is the original script with no rewrites. They all wrote it. So they're doing the parts. They're talking about behind the scenes stuff, who they wanted to cast, how they wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger to be in this movie. It's really good. It's really funny. It's awesome that they're giving us to hear this script.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. I think I've been looking forward to it every week. So
yeah, cool.
All right, Marcus. I know it's 11:30.
Yeah. Well, in other news.
Yeah. What we got?
They announced, or not really. It's not officially announced, but Mackie posted on his Instagram.
Who?
Captain America. Mackie. Post on his Instagram a picture of him and Harrison Ford, who's in Captain America 4.
Yeah.
And on the back of the chairs, the name of the movie's changed.
I heard.
It was called Captain America New World Order. But on the back of the chairs and on the screens that were on the TVs, it's Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah, I like Brave New World.
Yeah. I thought New World Order was going to be when it was released at San Diego Comic-Con, there was kind of a backlash about it because it was associated with a certain group from Germany that you probably don't want to be associated with.
Right.
So probably changing it to Brave New World is probably a better idea.
Yeah. And Marvel's done this before where they've announced the show or movie and
they changed the title, the secondary title of it. Yeah. That's happened many
times. But that's awesome. I'm excited to check it out. I'm glad
May 3rd next year. Yeah.
May 3rd. Well, if it comes out May 3rd, we don't know.
Well, they're in filming. They're filming. Because the script's already been written. Because I don't know if you heard about this either, that they started filming Deadpool 3.
Yes.
With the caveat, word of the day.
They stopped filming. They stopped filming.
They did, because what they started filming, Ryan Reynolds wasn't able to improv at all on set.
No.
Because there's no writers. Because there's a writer's strike going on.
And he's considered a writer.
And he's considered a writer of this thing, so technically he shouldn't be doing it. No. So they since stopped production.
Yes.
Off that, not connected directly to that, but we are working on getting a writer who is a member of the Writers Guild of America as a guest on the show, hopefully next week.
Yes.
To talk to us about the writer's strike and explain to us what's going on, because we're idiots and we don't really know what is going on, so we want to know. Going off that, from talking to our Hollywood insider, Megan Duffy, over in California, she told us about the Screen Actors Guild has approved a strike clause that they can strike if the SAG can't come to an agreement by the end of the month.
Right.
And that happens.
Stop all production.
That's going to stop everything.
Yeah.
Oddly, the Directors Guild reached a tentative agreement.
Yes.
Which I I don't think anyone thought they wouldn't, because whatever, directors, what do they care? But yeah, no, if the Screen Actors Guild goes on strike, this is like a whole different ballgame,
Yes.
because you can't do anything. I mean, the writers' stuff's already been written. You can work with that stuff that's already been written, and just do what the script says. It's already been done and production started. But if the actors go on strike, you can't continue doing anything because there's no one to do the parts.
But there are some shows and movies that stop production because generally the writers
You have
are
rewrites,
and
adjustments, and things. Yeah.
They're rewriting on the spot.
Yeah.
If dialogue doesn't work, they have to have the writer rewrite it. If the actor's like, I don't feel my character would say this, or we reword this. Any word.
Even just the common thing of someone like trying to read a script or read a line, and it's like you just can't do it. Like your brain just won't connect that day to read that line the right way. No matter how many times you try it, 2 words back to back just don't flow in your brain together and you can't get it straight. A writer will be on set that will come over and be like, okay, we'll just move this around and there you go. And then you get it and you move on. Right now, you can't do that because they're all on strike.
Yeah.
So, and again, just like the writers, the SAG thing is kind of coming around with the same questions, like AI. Is AI going to take over? Do we even need to, we need to have clauses put in place that say you can't just use an AI version of us in a film, and we never even show up for the thing, back like the old John Wayne beer commercial thing from way back in the day where they just superimposed John Wayne into a beer commercial.
Well, that's a little bit different. I mean,
what I'm saying, but that's like the thought process. That's like what they could do. They could just put anybody at this point into a movie. Like, say you can't get Brad Pitt, but you can AI Brad Pitt into the movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think
lines.
they're more worried about these companies using AI to write scripts.
Yeah, but the Actors Guild has brought up the same stuff the writers are saying. Like, AI is an issue that needs to be addressed, and the streaming revenues. It's not like the old days where you did a show on CBS or one of the networks, and you did it, and then it got syndicated, and the syndication checks would come in. You do a show on Netflix, there's no residual checks coming because you just did a show on Netflix. You did it and done.
Well, we talked about this before, but let's save it for next week. Let's give our review.
Yes.
Of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I'm going to throw it out there, Brian.
What?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I would say one of the top 3 Spider-Man movies ever made.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also,
which is crazy because it's a cartoon.
I will also say this. In my opinion, it is probably one of the best multiverse movies, right behind Everything Everywhere All at Once and Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't think any other multiverse movie has done it as good.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I want to see. Everything All at Once, I think, is a better multiverse movie than Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I think No Way Home really did it well, bringing in other Spider-Man for different universes.
Yeah.
But this
is probably the closest comparison to this movie would be No Way Home.
Yeah.
Because it's multiple Spider-Mans.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I want the MCU to do with this whole we really haven't got. I mean, Multiverse of Madness sort of.
It's. I mean, there's the point of it that you couldn't do this movie in live action.
Oh no,
It'd be impossible.
Yeah, totally.
So I mean, there's that part of it too. I mean, it's not easy to have all these different characters appear and be able to make it into a real movie
But man, it was stellar.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I got the soundtrack ASAP.
Yeah.
I love Gwen Stacy's theme song.
Yes.
But I really like this. We got a third part coming next year.
Yeah,
third,
March
yeah.
of 2024.
But man, what a story. It's somehow they kept it not complicated. You can follow everything that's happening, even though it can be kind of a complicated story to tell. But I did such a great job with pacing and letting my favorite parts of this movie. And it's a movie I want to see it again in the theater at least one more time. My favorite parts were with Spider Gwen Stacy with her dad, and I love those character scenes. But I like how the animation was different when it was sad. It was like a pastel, and the pastels were starting to run.
Yeah,
and kind of would. I just love those details, and I love the animation for different.
They did a very good job of like using the backgrounds to tell the story, like the emotions of the story.
Yeah,
as it's happening.
Yeah, it was great.
Towards the end of the movie, towards the end of the film, like the whole thing with that story. I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody at this point. But like the way they the backgrounds move and stuff like that.
Yeah. The action was fantastic. I love the new Spider-Man they introduced. I also think they set up some things that are going to pay off in the next movie.
Yeah. I think there's even a chance that there's possibility, which
I think
was kind of like a thing I thought of as I was driving home, and I wanted to save it for today. Was they kind of hinted at it in this movie? There's a possibility they could bring in the live action Spider-Man.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got Tobey Maguire. They showed him in the
at least the Spider Bros.
They showed Tobey.
Yeah.
In the background.
Yeah.
Got a live action scene.
Yeah.
Where was that? What universe did that take place in? We don't know.
Yeah.
Garfield, Tobey, Holland.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I feel like we're going to get at least if we
got Donald Glover in live action.
Yes, he was playing a live action version of his uncle. Whatchamacallit.
Yeah, he was playing Prowler from that universe. From the Peter Holland universe.
So
he was playing that Prowler that they caught. And it's a possibility. That means it's connected. Like it's part of that universe. This is all one of the universes.
Yeah.
So those three Spider-Men are technically available to be brought in.
I feel like it's going to be a secret, and they can obviously do it without anybody knowing.
They could have already shot it when they shot across the No Way Home. They could have already shot the parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just had them in the bin to use when they need them.
So I'm pumped for part 3.
You need to bring in Peter Holland, or Tom Holland, I should say.
Tom Holland.
Peter Holland was a hockey player for the Wolfpack. You need to bring in Tom Holland because he's technically not Spider-Man right now. He's Spider-Man. But he's like secret Spider-Man. Like no one knows he's Spider-Man because he had everyone's memory erased that he was Spider-Man.
Right, but he's still Spider-Man.
Yeah, but the thing is, they could use that part of the story.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't want anyone to remember me as that I'm Spider-Man. It could be across the Spider-Verse that he's not recognized as Spider-Man. Because they could have erased everyone's memory.
That was only in that planet, that universe. So, I mean, if he's dressed up as Spider-Man...
If they could have multiple universes, let's say Doctor Strange's magic couldn't have crossed all the universes.
I don't know.
That's a way to not have to have him in it. I'm saying you could just have Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
I'll be happy with any of them, to be honest with you.
Here's the other thing I thought of.
Yeah.
With that, as their as this next movie goes on, and if they do like they did in No Way Home, the jumping of universes.
Well, they did that in this movie. They jumped in all the time. Yeah.
But I'm saying, what if they did where they go to a live action Spider-Man's universe, be it Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, could we get our live action Miles Morales to appear for the first time?
That would be pretty cool.
Then that launches the live action version of this.
Yeah.
That's been rumored. The live action Miles Morales.
I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but you could.
It's like one of those things where it's like anything is possible when it comes to these movies now. Because it's like the fact that this is like one of the first movies I can remember since Roger Rabbit, where they had the live action, cartoon Mad World, maybe the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Totally. I know, I agree. I also like the ending because they brought back the characters from the first movie, which I missed a lot.
Noir.
I mean Nicolas Cage's Noir.
Cage, yeah.
John Mulaney as Spider Pig. And you had those characters, which I'm so happy they're bringing them back for part 3. I really like that cliffhanger. I like the ending there. Just seeing them all together, and I like how Miles. This is, I don't want to spoil anything. He's an anomaly, but since he's an anomaly, there's other anomalies, and Spider-Gwen realizes, well, maybe things can change because she alters her timeline.
Yeah.
So instead of going to the status quo for all these timelines, everybody's just like, well, that's the way it has to happen. It's canon. This is the way it has to happen. We have Miles who's just like, well, I feel like we can change our future.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I'm not going to get more into it. I think you should go see it.
For sure. And it's not just a kid's movie.
Yeah.
That's their thing. That's the thing I tried to tell people, because I know a lot of people, even my wife and relatives, like, why are you guys going to see a cartoon? It's like, it's not just a kid's movie.
Yeah.
It's a regular movie, just it's cartoon.
And the animation was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they had the most animation. I brought this up. The animation, it was the largest crew of any animated movie ever, with around 1,000 people working on it.
Yeah. That's why it took 5 years.
Yes.
And they're working on 2 movies at once, which is
Yeah.
another reason why it took 5 years.
And they added 240 characters, and it takes place in 6 universes.
Yeah.
So it's bonkers. It's bonkers. Yeah. And just go see it. It's an amazing movie. Personally, my personal review, it's like a 10 out of 10, but I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because I want to see how it ends. And because it's a split in the middle kind of thing,
which affects some people.
Yes. A little too much, though. I found it to be a little extreme, because a normal person who might not know it's a part 1, or it's a part of a trilogy, you might just go, oh man, that was a great movie. I didn't know it was going to end that way. I can't wait to see the second part.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a normal reaction. The reaction I got was a little too, like, I don't like this one part, so F it all, burn it down. This is a cash grab. Why even live life? I got to take a cyanide pill. I got to jump in my coffin and burn it and never live again.
Yes.
That's a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. I need finality. I need an ending. I don't like it when stuff ends without an ending.
And I brought up,
you don't watch any shows, you don't watch anything on television, you don't watch any TV shows, because none of them have finales until the show ends.
Yeah.
You don't wait. You wait until the show's completely done, and then you decide to watch it. You don't wait till
watch the last episode. That's it.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, what about Avengers Infinity War? Because that movie ended on a cliffhanger. Everybody died.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. That was the response.
No, it was
so
not.
The first response I gave to Claire the next day when she was like, "Oh, how was the movie?" I was like, I think I've decided that I just want to just go with Brian, and that's it. I don't need anybody else to go with us to movies anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we just keep the two of us, and that's it. I think I just can't deal with the other people's.
I mean, I don't mind the other people. It's just
Well,
like
another person, but I don't mind. Like, I just think I really need to start curtailing who I take with me to movies.
right. I feel like the third part, just me and you go. Like
Well, just
I
all
don't,
movies, just all movies in general. I've gotten to that age now where I'm curtailing the added BS in my life. I don't need it, nor do I want it. And if you're gonna raise my BS level to a point where I don't want to be a part of it, then I'm just not going to invite you to things.
I mean,
I have enough people in my life. I can start weeding out some.
I question if the person had seen the first one because the ending is like
They said they had.
I question that because the ending is
They
like
think they had. Maybe, possibly
we don't know.
on the West Coast. Possibly.
Possibly.
I think I did.
Yeah. But like the ending is a moment, if you've seen the first one, is a big moment to be like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
So as someone who's seen the first one, I saw it in the theater,
yes,
and I know who those characters are. I got
exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't be like flipping the theater off, going for this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like seeing the first Lord.
There's also a tiny part of me that wonders if it's actually their response or if they just say things to get a response. Maybe. As well. Yeah. Which another thing I don't care about. I don't need to have that either.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, my review, like I said, it's a 10 out of 10. I know they're gonna stick the landing, but right now,
I hope they stick the landing.
I know they will. I feel like
I don't like to get too excited about it. I've learned to quell my expectations with things and not just be like, this is gonna work out perfectly and it's gonna be great. And then so
for me, this is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
With the caveat with the ending part. But also I think it's in my top 3 multiverse movies. I would say it's definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
So it's up there. And I also hope, because the first one was nominated for an Oscar for animation.
Oh, this is going to get no matter what. There's nothing else.
And it won. I feel like this should, depending on how many great movies come out this year, I
don't think this one. I think the next one might be the one that gets it.
This could be
this is not because they don't usually give, even in regular movies, if it's a two-parter, the first part usually doesn't get the nod. Like Lord of the Rings was the last film, got the nod. Harry Potter, the last one, got the nod. It was like it's not like the first, the middle movie.
What I'm saying is though, the first one was nominated for animation and it won.
Yes.
This one,
to give it.
I will see. It will probably be nominated for animated movie.
They should give it give it the Oscar now for that. Not even.
I would like it to be in the.
I know what you're saying, in the best picture category.
Best picture category, yeah.
I don't think it's this one will. I think it's the next one.
Okay.
Because it's not like a usual thing where the first part of a two-parter gets the nod for that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, there's a first time for everything. You make a good point, but I could see it definitely getting animated film.
Yeah.
Nomination. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's just gonna win it. It doesn't even need to have a competition.
Oh, I'm gonna write this. So, what are you giving it for in your scale?
I'm gonna give it 9.5 out of 10.
All right, 6.
Leaving that little bit to just take it over the top with the ending. So I know the ending is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think so too. Spider-Man
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I'm right.
The next one's Beyond the Spider-Verse.
And I love the cameos.
And Oscar Isaacs is just like fantastic and everything. Can we just admit that he's like amazing? And he's like the only actor who's been basically every franchise. He is the multiverse.
He kind of is. So you give it 9.5. And
He's
me.
been in X-Men. He's been in Star Wars,
9 point.
Marvel.
Okay.
The only thing he hasn't been is a DC movie. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. I got that down. Now we're in the middle. I know next week we have a special show potentially with someone.
Yes.
But what I would like to do is after that, I know we have the Flash.
We'll
But
have the Flash that next week.
Some point in
Next week is the Flash.
next Thursday.
Yeah.
Some time in June, it would be great to kind of go through and do what are our favorite things so far of 2023. And I'd like to
like a midway point.
A midway point and compile the stuff we reviewed.
Okay.
Highest to lowest, which would be
Okay.
kind of interesting.
All right.
But we'll, you know what? I'm looking at the calendar. Yeah, next Tuesday we're gonna do our special show. The following week will be Flash.
Yeah.
Maybe the last week of June.
Yeah, because that'll be right before Indy.
Yeah.
So we can do that because that first shows of July will be the Indy review.
Right. All right, we should wrap this up.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Definitely.
It's fantastic.
100%. Fantastic. Yeah.
Take a child. Don't care whose. Just grab a kid off the street. Take him to
Go
the
by
movie.
yourself. You can go by yourself.
Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find a friend who dislikes two-part movies and take them for 2.5 hours. And
they'll hate it.
Them moan and groan for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
All right. So we'll see you all here next week. We got a big show lined up for you. We have a guest. Doesn't happen often.
No.
So come back and check out and see who it is. You might even announce who it is during the week. Who knows? Probably not, because I'll probably forget. But anyways, we'll see you all next week. As always, be safe, be well, be kind.
And rest in peace, buddy.
Rewind. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.